Good morning. Well, it's morning where I am. It is 10:38. I thought I would go ahead and get my lunch and my dinner or my lunch for the rest of the week done this morning. Last night I made steak and onions over baked potatoes, and I have quite a bit of steak and onions left, so I thought today I would make a beef and vegetable dump soup. The reason why I call it a dump soup is because I just dump everything in a pot, put it on the stove, turn it down low, put a lid on it, and let it cook for as long as I want it to cook. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add all the steak and onions that I made last night. I diced up 2 large baking potatoes, several of the individual already peeled carrots, 2 stalks of celery. So I'm going to add all that in. I'm going to add a can of green beans, juice and all. A can of corn, whole kernel, juice and all. And 1 can of diced tomatoes. As a lot of you probably have noticed in most of my videos, I use store brand canned goods, store brand everything, pretty much. I would say 90% of what I buy is store bought, is store brand. And the reason why I do this is because many years ago, before I met and married my husband, Big Papa, I was a mother of 2 small girls, and finances were extremely, extremely tight back then. The only way that I could afford to buy enough groceries to last us a week was to buy knockoff brands or store brands. I started buying store brand, and I was able to buy a lot more money or a lot more groceries so that we would have food to eat for the week. And what I had realized is that the store brand tasted just the same as your name brand, and that you were really paying for that name brand. Now, guarantee there are certain name brand stuff that you have to buy name brand. The store brands just does not taste the same. But I would say 90% of everything that I buy is usually store brand. Now, today I can afford to buy anything that I want, store brand or name brand, everything. I just choose not to. Why pay the money, extra money for something that I can get at a cheaper price? That's just how I am. So I continue to buy store brand to this day. Just giving this a good stir. Now, the good thing about vegetable soup is that you can add any kind of vegetables that you like. Now, I love baby lima beans, so these are frozen, so I'm just going to throw a couple handfuls of those in. And after this has cooked for probably about an hour to 2 hours, then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to add some cabbage and some frozen peas in mine. Now, to season this, of course, black pepper. I'm going to add 2 cubes of beef bouillon. I love celery seed, so I'm going to add a little bit of celery seed to that. Some onion powder. And some garlic powder. And then I have a 32 ounce of beef broth. Now, Big Papa is not a fan of soup. He really doesn't care for it, but it's one of my favorite things. I can eat soup all year round. It could be 101 outside, and I will still eat a bowl of soup. I just love, love, love soup. So I know this is a huge pot, but what I will do is I will eat on this for lunch for several days. And if there's anything left after several days and I'm burnt out on this particular soup, then I will just freeze it. Now, only thing I have left to do is put a lid on this, get it on the stove, and let this cook. And then once it has cooked, I would say a good maybe 2 hours, then I'll come back and I will add the cabbage and the peas. And that is how I make beef vegetable dump soup.